I will present the story and the history of the MiniApps, and I want to explore how we can contribute to the future of the web using the knowledge and the ecosystem we have, especially here in China, right? You are familiar to the concept of MiniApps, the ones that we are here. We are using MiniApps every day here, but somehow it's very unknown outside China, outside Asia, right? Starting by the definition of the MiniApp. What is this, and what is related? Why is it related to the web? It's a hybrid application, so it's based on the web. It's using a web engine in the host, or in the user agent, in the super app, and integrates native capabilities. So it's a powerful application, sandboxed in a host that is the super app. So this is extracted from the white paper definition. We have specific features that define the MiniApp in general. It's lightweight, only a few megabytes. It's a subset of JavaScript, CSS, and a kind of HTML. It's based on it's not exactly HTML, but it's something similar, right? There is no installation. It's a seamless interaction, just scanning the QR code or clicking on the link and starting using the application. And as I mentioned before, rendered using a web engine. So with some powerful capabilities using specific features of the operating system, even if you have tried them, even using NFC, Bluetooth, and so on, but running on top of a web view. So these are the characteristics of MiniApps, and the MiniApp ecosystem keeps growing. This is this is a kind of a landscape of the top popular MiniApps we have mainly in Asia. I'm showing like 20 different super apps and the ecosystem of MiniApps, and most of them are from Asia, as you can see or you can imagine, starting by the top popular ones here in China, like WeChat, Alipay, and so on, but some other emerging in Asia, and also in the Western. But those in the Western, like the Revolut or the kind of super apps that is becoming Uber, for instance, are not the same like the MiniApps here in Asia. And some others that can be light applications running on a web view, but not exactly the same as MiniApp, but something similar, and running on top of a web browser, a web engine, sorry. And something that we are trying to do in the MiniApps working group and the MiniApps community is the convergence between the MiniApp ecosystem and the web platform as universal platform, and why we cannot consider the browser as a super app as well, running lighter applications, mini applications that can just access directly using the QR code and the rest of the different features I mentioned before, the characteristics of the MiniApps. So it could be something like a super app, but in this case, it's a standard super app, right? And we have seen also some light applications running or using these web applications for delivering this seamless experience for the end users. Reusing the existing web applications, like wrapping the web applications inside a native app. But some others of using as well web engines at the end and running on specific frameworks directly on the operating system, like the famous quick apps here in Asia, running on top of the Android, Atomic services for Harmony OS, Open Harmony, and some others like App Clips as well, just light applications for a seamless experience, and most of them using web or similar to web technologies. And so this is something that we are exploring right now. It's not only MiniApps. Should we start referring to this kind of this new concept of light applications on top of the web, like embedded web apps instead of MiniApps or instead of these light applications? So this is what we are discussing right now. These features of lightweight, non-installation, embedded engines, and so on, this is something that we can solve with the web. We have been discussing how we can make this convergence, and we see that the web can cover almost everything. We only have some difficulties with or some challenges with the native features, how we can include these powerful features into the applications using the web, and some others like the distribution of the application at the end in MiniApps, for instance, controlled by the platform. So a kind of marketplace for applications that we can implement it as well on the web. So why not using the web for this? But we see that it's not only the MiniApp ecosystem that the one that needs this evolution or this potential use of the web technologies. We see some new opportunities, for instance, the AI-generated user interfaces, that they are, like in these chatbots, that they are creating artifacts for the user to show these snippets of code and showing the final result in the application. So sandboxed, using the web engine, and solving a specific problem. Also with some subsets of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and so on. So we can apply this as well to this new concept of AI applications. But why not using this to promote some of the activities in W3C, like the activities and application of the standards of W3C, like Web of Things? We don't see too many applications out there. We have a powerful set of standards for applying this IoT using the web. So why not using this same model to deliver better experience and creating more applications for the Web of Things, like the small thermostat? You don't need the full web ecosystem to implement applications for thermostat using Web of Things, right? So we can apply this as well. We have several challenges, for sure, that we want to solve, and we need to discuss, and this is a good forum to discuss. Should we leverage the web standards to continue doing this work and preparing the future of these new applications, or just creating some tooling to keep implementing these specific use cases? We have the challenge of the distribution, how we pack and distribute the application, and for sure, the security model is something new. We pack, we cache the information in the super app, and we need to define a new security model. But also, we need to explore how we can enrich the web views and the web engines in general with these new features, and perhaps reducing these features for specific use cases. So can our MiniApps activities help with this? So this is what we are trying to solve. All these challenges about lifecycle, distribution, the metadata, and the security model. So can we contribute this to this new evolution of the applications? So we are discussing right now, if we change the name of the working group, we extend the scope to these embedded web applications to cover the new way to create applications for the web and giving more, more opportunities for the web standards out there. Exploring a new security model using the foundation of the web, protecting the web principles, and also observing some of the existing incubation activities like the isolated web apps that they want to create something like we want to do in MiniApps, or we can solve the problems or the challenges we have in MiniApps with this isolated context. Also delivering the applications in different ways, and some alignment with external similar activities like the Winter TC, that they are creating subsets of the, or let's say, a standard baseline for the JavaScript engines, and considering the new applications like MiniApps, or the new ideas of the MiniApps MCP to create on-the-fly new applications or MiniApps for these super applications, and the rest of the AI ecosystem that is coming. So this is our proposal, how we can leverage these standards we have, how we can leverage the knowledge in the MiniApp ecosystem for improving the future of the web. Thank you.